guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Heroes show, recorded on the 22nd of November, previewing the stuff coming out on the 23rd of November in stores. So just before jumping into all this stuff, of course, first of all, a massive thanks to Chris for looking after the store for a couple of extra days last week. Obviously covered us while we were away at Thought Bubble, and then on Saturday there was an extra day. I wasn't 100% last week, as I sort of said in last week's video, but Chris stepped in and by all accounts had a ridiculously busy day. So cheers to everyone for popping in during that time, and also cheers to Chris for looking after it as well. It is massively appreciated. So yeah, in terms of the store now, as I say, I'm 100%, I'm back fighting fit, and I'm working my butt off to get as much stock put out into this store for the next month or so as possible. So that includes back issues. I focused today quite a bit on S and T in the DC section. So there's a ton of new Superman stuff went out, for example. There's a ton of new Titan stuff was went out. Teen Titans, all in the back issue single issue base. Try saying that 5 times fast. With Marvel, I got some new Daredevil stuff in. I try to focus on one company at a time, and the Marvel ones are pretty well stacked, so I'm trying to focus a bit more on DC now, give it a bit more care and attention. I've been going through more and more of the omnibuses, and as I say, every omnibus now is going to be below RRP in store. If the RRP is 110, it's most likely we're going to sell it 100. That's just as an example. So I've re-stickered about 2/3 of it so far, and I hope to get the rest of that finished tomorrow/today, depending when you watch this. Try to get finished on the Wednesday, shall we say. So always have a look at the omnibus section if there's something interesting, because as I say, all of them will be sold from now on below RRP, and it's something we're quite proud of. I've got a big figure delivery coming, hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is cutting it fine for Christmas, I know, but one of the companies I use, their turnaround time's just a little bit slower than I would possibly like. What else have we got? So comic boxes are back in stock. We got plain white comic boxes, short boxes, back in stock this week. So I know some people love the printed boxes, myself included. For some people, they just prefer the white boxes, which is absolutely fine. And as I say, they're back in stock this week. Bags and boards, we were told through Diamond, would be back in stock within the next week or two. So hopefully we'll be able to get a good shipment of those in. If you know, you're the kind of person that really looks after your collection and wants to get fresh bags and boards, that kind of thing. So again, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So I've been told. So yeah, lots going on. Trying to get lots into the store again with coming up to the Christmas season. A reminder, of course, we do gift vouchers. If you're not sure what to get someone for that comic fan in your life, or you're not sure what they have, and therefore it can be a little trickier to pick stuff out for them because you don't know what they have. I should say as well, we're going to be putting in towards the end of this week, there's going to be 2 new large print folders. So these are going to contain various DC and Marvel prints, everything from MCU movies to Alex Ross prints to Jim Lee prints to just prints of all your favorite characters. Basically, there's going to be one for DC and one for Marvel. The prints themselves are going to be like a $5 each, thereabouts. We obviously do them framed over in the window, you can see. Not everybody wants them framed, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to offer this as an alternative for unframed prints. We have a bunch of top loaders that fit the prints. So obviously if you pick one up off us, they'll go into the top loader free of charge, which will allow you to transport them safely as well. So again, I've been working on that. I'm hoping to have that active by the end of this week. So that'll be something new. I'll probably have them behind me on the side where the variants go, left and right. One for DC, one for Marvel, as I say. So yeah, loads to be getting on with leading up to Christmas. We're waiting for confirmation from the council, but normally in December we would be open on the Sunday as well, 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. As long as the market's open this year, we'll certainly honour that and be open for that extra day in December as well. So yeah, that's everything, as I say, store-wise. Other than I should say, there's a new reviews podcast out there. Keith and I have been condensing our reviews podcast into months now, rather than weeks. So we just covered October there, and that just went live on all the podcast networks, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find them all on the website, of course, as well. And we hope to get a previews one recorded in the next week or so as well. So yeah, lots going on, as I say, and that's before we even jump into the new stuff this week. So I'll kick things off this week with variants. There are a few extra variants in here because there is a day, this Wednesday is essentially known as Local Comic Shop Day. So it's a day that encourages people to go out and support their local comic stores. And Pardon me. Maybe not 100%. There's always a rake of items that you can only get from comic stores exclusively on that day. So some of those are variant covers, and you'll see those as I go through here. But we'll kick things off with Star Wars The High Republic. So number 1 sold out, of course, so went back to second printing. So you've got this new second printing design cover by Ario Anandito. So that is on sale from tomorrow, just in case you're playing catch up. Alpha Betas has been a series I've been getting the variants of it in simply because they do really cool homage covers. This one, of course, is to Mass Effect, so out this week. This is one of those ones I'm talking about with local comic store day. So this is Grimm. This is a series I absolutely love through Boom Studios, Stephanie Phillips and Flaviano. And this is a 5th printing variant, but it's done in gorgeous foil. I mean, the foil covers for Grimm have always been great, but this is a local comic store day 2022 exclusive, as is this one, which is 8 Billion Genies. So this is a really cool idea for a sketch cover, because what it is create your own genie. I wouldn't be surprised if the guys who do this, Charles Soule, Ram Brown, they run some sort of competition perhaps online, we'll see. But yeah, you'll see it up at the top there, LCSD edition, so local comic store edition there. Our Daredevil orders are getting bigger and bigger, so we're starting to qualify for more retailer incentive variants. So this is a 1 to 10, which is a Marco Cicchetto design variant for Beardy Daredevil, if you will. So a little bit more expensive, this one at £8, but that's a 1 to 10 retailer incentive. We have a new issue of Alien out this week, so we have the Iban Coelho variant out for that as well. We're continuing with the DC 90s Rewind Homage variant. So first of all, from John Boy Myers, we have Harley Quinn. This is issue 24, and that's the 90s Homage variant there with Harley in her red and black. And then we also have a 90s Rewind variant for Detective Comics, which is Kyle Hotz, which is very much going back to the Nightfall days. Again, everything, including the logo, including the DC Bullet design, and even just like the Nightfall multicolored bat there as well. DC versus Vampires, we have issue 11. This is a Nathan Zerdy variant cover. Again, Harley is popular this month, as you can see. And then we finish off with another one of those local comic shop day variants. This is not just a local comic shop day variant, but a sort of special edition as well, because what you'll see, this is a foil sort of, it's almost like a scratchy embossed effect for Batman the Joker Deadly Duo. But not only that, the whole issue is in black and white, so it's just the pencils and the inks, no colors, and it's just as gorgeous in black and white as it was in color. So yeah, those are all the variants, and they will be going out for sale from tomorrow. Now with the variants, there are several there that we've ordered multiples of. Sometimes when we order one of a certain variant, so as ever, if something catches your eye, just drop us a message, let us know. Move on from there and on to my pull list. So kick things off, just spoke about it. Loved the first issue of this. So jumped at the chance to get the local comic shop day variant of Batman Joker Deadly Duo. Also out this week is DC Horror Presents Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, with Francesco Francavilla cover there. Of course, that's how I collect this series in general. And there's a couple of other guys do the same thing. So again, if there are free to order variants that you want to collect the series with instead of the cover A's, just let us know and we'll always make that happen. DC vs. Vampires issue 11 this week, so 11 of 12. The series is coming towards its conclusion. Tinian Rosenberg writing and Otto Schmidt on art. We have Detective Comics 1066, so we're continuing on with the Ram V era on Detective Comics. I believe Ivan Rice is the artist on this issue. Cy Spurrier writing backups, and just J.H. Williams III on covers there. Absolutely gorgeous. Also out this week is The Human Target from Tom Keane and Greg Smallwood. Another great limited maxi series for DC Comics. Where as far as issue 9, and again I always go for cover A and cover B as well. The variant this week is by Cully Hamner, I believe. I'd mentioned Alien was out this week. Speaking of homage covers, very classic homage cover right there to Aliens. We're up to issue 3. Loving that run so far. Also out this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 14. So this is like the prelude to Dark Web. There is going to be a Dark Web one-shot as well, but the events in this are definitely setting up where that event is going. We have Daredevil number 5, which of course I just chatted about with the 1 to 10 variant, which of course I have one for myself, as well as Zdarsky and Cicchetto continue their fantastic run. Doctor Strange is a new one this week. I'm a bit disappointed there's not one pre-order for this title, and given that this is written and drawn by Trad Moore, and it's mystical. This is going to be fantastic. Now, this is actually the Daniel Warren Johnson variant I've went for, but this series looks great. It's only a 4 or 5 issue mini, but again, I was a bit disappointed that no one had jumped on it, but I think this is going to be something really, really good. Got Star Wars Yoda out this week as well. This is the start of a new mini-series, I believe, from Kevin Scott. And there's a few first appearances, I believe, in the first issue, so no doubt that will fly off the shelf. Frank Miller kicks off his new comic label this week called Frank Miller Presents. So this is one of the first books, which is Ancient Enemies. This is the one from Dan DiDio, who has basically helped him set up the publishing company. We got a new Creepshow this week, so we're up to issue 3 of this. Again, some great stuff with Creepshow so far. Just really good anthology horror-based storytelling. Dark Spaces Wildfire, number 5. This is the last issue of the 5-issue mini-series, so no doubt this will hit trade soon. Highly, highly recommend it. Scott Snyder, Hayden Sherman on art, and that's been really cool so far. New Department of Truth this week. Again, always a good week when you've got New Department of Truth. Tinian on writing, Martin Simmons on art, and we're up as far as issue 22. I'd mentioned 8 Billion Genies for the local comic store day variant, so I will of course be trying my hand at a genie design, but cover A here for me as well. Again, one of the best titles around for Image Comics, Charles Soule and Ram Brown. Again, I collect everything Grimm that comes out, so of course there's a local comic store day variant in there. Another indie book that has a worrying lack of pre-orders was Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. Now this is written by Jason Aaron, so it's going to be good straight away. But it's also art by Alexandra Tefenegi, who was the artist on The Good Asian, which is a great Image Comics series. Again, the thing is, if the pre-orders are low on indie books, we don't tend to order a lot of them, so we only have a couple of spare of these. But this looks great. New Boom Comics series, and again, Jason Aaron on writing. How can you go wrong? And then we finish off with the other Frank Miller Presents title that comes out this week, something a bit closer to Frank's heart, which is Ronin Book 2. So Frank Miller is writing and doing the layouts for this, but then Philip Tan's in the actual art on that. So I should say with the Frank Miller books, they're a bit more expensive. They're $8 books, but they're like 64 pages, so they're premium paper, cardstock covers, so they've put a lot of effort into those. Move away from my pull list and into new stuff in this week. So not the biggest amount in the world, but some really good stuff through it. So we kick things off, probably one of the biggest releases this week is Fortnite Marvel Zero War. This is the hardcover collection of the complete Fortnite Marvel story. It also includes the 6 Marvel themed Fortnite cosmetic items. At least Marvel showed sense with this, unlike with their second printings of number 1, and the codes are included with that. I just have Batman Spawn here as well, simply because A, it's a glow-in-the-dark cover, which I may not have mentioned last week, and B, we sold out of this last week, so got top-ups up for that. We have Walking Dead, Volume 13. Again, we always have this commitment to try and have the full run of The Walking Dead in at any one time. So anytime volumes sell, we try to replace them straight away. We have Superman and the Authority. This was a really good Grant Morrison and Mikel Janin mini-series. It did come out in a hardcover, which I think we might have on the shelf as well. But they've now brought it out in trade paperback at a slightly lower price than the hardcover. Star Wars graphic novels continue with the first volume of Han Solo Chewbacca. This is going to be a 10-issue mini-series in total. So this is volume 1. There will be a volume 2. This contains Han Solo volume 1, issues 1 to 5, but also material from Star Wars Life Day as well. We have Spider-Gwen Gwenverse. So this proved very popular in the single issues, which was a 5-issue mini-series from Tim Seeley and Jody Nishijima. And yeah, so full volume of that, just the 1 volume. Silver Coin is now as far as volume 3. So again, this is a great horror series, always drawn by Michael Walsh, but a different writer each time, which is unusual because it's usually the other way around, where it'll be the same writer but different artists each time. But this collects issues 11 to 15 and includes people such as James Tynion writing stories, Stephanie Phillips, Johnny Christmas on Pornsec Pisha Show, and Michael Walsh tends to always do one himself as well, series creator. We have a new epic collection for Iron Fist, and this is Iron Fist from the very beginning. So this is focusing on Iron Fist 1974 to 1977. So includes first appearance, Marvel Premiere 15 to 25, plus Iron Fist first solo series 1 to 15, and the Marvel Team Up 63-64. I mean, the people involved in this include Chris Claremont, John Byrne, and Larry Hama. What more do you need to know? But yeah, Iron Fist from the beginning. A little bit of image love for you now with I Hate This Place, or to give it its full title, which was This Place. This was a 5-issue mini-series. I believe there's going to be a second volume though. It does have a number 1 on the side. Really good stuff. I was reading this in single issues myself. Kyle Stark's writing and Arjomi Topolin on art. Firepower is up as far as volume 5. Jeez, Firepower has just flown by and it's so good. So this is collecting issues 19 to 24. So the reason it's volume 5 is the very first volume was an original graphic. Then volume 2 is issues 1 to 6, issue 3, etc, etc. But yeah, we're up as far as issue 24 and it's still going. So the longer the better as far as I'm concerned. We have Carnage in trade form now. So this is the 5 issues of trade, the 5 issues, sorry, of Carnage from Ram V. Also includes Carnage Forever, the one shot as well. And then just like The Walking Dead, it's the same with The Boys. Anytime volumes sell, we just order them straight back in. There's 6 volumes of The Boys in total for anybody that wants to get into it. And why wouldn't you? It is fantastic. This is volume 5 again, just getting it back in stock, making sure we have them all on the shelves at all times. We have Amazing Spider-Man volume 2. So this is containing, it sounds short because it's issue 6 to 8. But issue 6 was a celebratory issue. I think it was Legacy 900. So it was like a triple sized issue. So that is why it's a bit bulkier, despite sounding like it's 3 issues. But yeah, some really good stuff in here. And mostly Zeb Wells, Ed McGuinness and John Romita Jr. on that. We have a new volume of Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man in this week. So this is the very, pardon me, this is the first volume of Peter Parker Spectacular. So this contains Spectacular Spider-Man 1 to 42, plus the annual, plus another annual, plus a Fantastic Four issue. So you're essentially getting 45 issues there. RRP on its 110, again, we'll be doing it at 100. And then to finish off, there's a couple of hardcovers, which are quite exciting because there was a company came out a few years ago called TKO. And with TKO, they didn't go through Diamond. You had to order directly from them. Now, it was a really good idea because the discounts were good for retailers and you were dealing directly with the company themselves as opposed to going through a third party. But the only thing is they're based in the States, so you had to pay stupid postage or else do a big enough order to make it worthwhile. But there's been some great creators working with them, and undoubtedly their 2 best titles so far are Zara from Garth Ennis and Steve Epting and Sentient from Jeff Lemire and Gabriel H. Waldo. So they're now doing them in these deluxe hardcovers and they're selling them through Diamond, so it makes it much easier for us. So Zara was all to do with like female Russian snipers during World War II. I absolutely love this. I got this as soon as it came out in the more traditional TKO format. And if you do like the TKO stuff, there is a section over there just beside Dynamite, which is TKO, where there's graphic novels of them as well. But these are the more deluxe editions, as I say. Lovely binding for them, lovely trim as well. So yeah, so you had Zara, and then the other one was Sentient, which was a sci-fi book, unsurprisingly, from Jeff Lemire and Gabriel H. Waldo, who's the artist, of course, in Tom Keen's Division. So those are available from this week also. So that is going to do it for me this week, if I can stop coughing. So yeah, as ever, it's these are all on sale from this week, Wednesday the 23rd of November. All the pull lists are done, all ready for collection. If you're having trouble getting down to us for a pull list for any reason, just drop us a wee message, just let us know. We have a couple that are going on a wee bit long at the moment. So it'd be nice to hear from some people, but by and large, all good, can't complain too much. So yeah, as ever, I hope this proved useful to you guys, keeping you up to date with everything that is coming in. And I'll hopefully look forward to seeing you in store soon. So take it easy.